Hi, thanks for joining me. This is going to be the first part of a three-part series where I go through 18 discontinued masterpiece fragrances. Now, I consider these masterpieces because of their depth, because of their scent profile, because of their uniqueness, and I lament them at the same time because they are discontinued. And this idea came about, again, from another axiom from this book right here, which is called Axioms and Digressions by author called Tiger Mask. As you can see, I'm also wearing the hoodie, which kind of looks like this. And, you know, on the back, it's also got the number. So this is number 000 of a limited run of 333. Believe it or not. So I think this is axiom number 46. So it says, forgive and remember, or repeat and regret. It really, really hurt me when I actually read that and thought about, oh shit, yeah, this reminds me of my idiocy when it came to Gucci Pour Homme 1, my most favorite of all fragrances of all time, of all of my lives. And the fact that I didn't actually stock up, and now I'm paying the price, as in, well, I'm not paying for it, but, you know, because it's like nearing $1,000 a bottle now. So I went on a journey trying to compensate for the lack of Gucci Pour Homme 1. And through that journey, I came across some really, really lovely scents. And as a result of that, my collection is enormous now. So as I continue to search for my Gucci Pour Homme 1, which isn't Gucci Pour Homme 1, but some of these fragrances that I had grown to really, really like are now discontinued. And the ones that I found and I thought, wow, this is fantastic, and now they're discontinued. So I'm going to go through those, and it's going to be 18 of them in total. We're going to go through 6 today, so I can break it up so that it's not going to be me just ranting on for like hours and hours. So let's kick off with the first one, and I'm going to put the picture of it here or there or somewhere, and it is Le Vetiver by Carven. Now, I've talked about this one in my previous series of my top 10 or some top 20 fragrances that I considered worthy of a repurchase and that I have repurchased because I went through 2 100ml bottles of that eau de parfum. And I think you can find that video link up there. So there's a whole playlist of them. I think there's 10 episodes of that, so check that out as well. They're pretty cool. But this one is a masterpiece. It's probably my favorite interpretation of what a vetiver can be. And the white florals, it's really more of a white floral and green grassy kind of vetiver combination that really does it for me. I find it, I found it extremely pleasing to wear in the dead of winter on a bright, sunny, and yet dry, sort of cold, crisp winter's day. And I went into the office with this, and compliments galore. Not that I wear fragrances for compliments, I wear them because I like fragrances and I like spraying them on and I like smelling them. So, but you know, this was just a byproduct of wearing something that I like, and it made me feel good, made me feel confident. It also made me feel very suave because it was a very well blended fragrance as well. And the opening was nice as well. There was no alcoholic harshness to it. And the mids is where the florals really shined, and then in the base you had that grassy sort of vetiver. It was fantastic to smell on your clothes the day after as well. So that one's gone. Again, it used to be super cheap, and as I remember, I think the last time I bought a bottle, it was $28 delivered to my house. Thank you, Fragrance X. And now it's gone. And I think prices, if you can find them, because it was a pretty rare sort of fragrance and I don't sort of often hear it being talked about or reviewed by fragrance reviewers, you know, it's really rare, it's really hard to find. So Carven discontinued that one so that they could push out their regular their regular line of vetiver fragrances, which I think weren't as good. I think that Le Vetiver is very close to the original Carven Vetiver, but it was more modernized, and I really liked the bottle as well. It had a nice wooden cap as well. Came in a nice magnetized box. Now that I think about it, I should have actually pulled the bloody thing out of the garage where I kept my empty bottles. But anyway, moving on from that. So that was number 18, that's Carven Le Vetiver. So the next one on the list is number 17, and this one has been discontinued. It got a bit of hype and I thought I should check it out. And so I got myself a smaller bottle. It's a 50 ml bottle, but it's this one. It is Mercedes-Benz Club Black. And this one's really nice, actually. I don't mind it at all. At the start, I thought, what the hell is this garbage? Apparently the bottle is supposed to look like a car. Is it this way? Is this what a car looks like? I'm not sure, but I've used up a little bit of it, as you can probably see right there. And I do not like these integrated atomizers. They always spill juice and they never sort of atomize properly in the little place where you place your finger there. It's pretty awkward, but it's really nice. I think it's really dark, smoky sort of, and it's probably as sweet as I'll go for a fragrance. If it wasn't for that smokiness sort of balancing out the sweetness in this, the vanilla in this, then I would not have been a fan. I think it's a very strongly projecting fragrance, but it doesn't last as long as you might think it should last, because I have sprayed this on at nights, and generally the fragrances that, you know, I'm not moving around or anything, I'm sleeping, and then I wake up and the fragrance should still be there, but it's not there. So I'll show you what it looks like if I spray it. It's got a pretty wide distribution. Caramelized sugar and vanilla is all there as well. And people say it smells really similar to that really Frenchy sort of name, the vanilla one that everyone tries to get. It's like a monk, something vanilla. I don't know, but I'll put the picture of that bottle up there. I never sort of got around to getting that before the prices sort of really, you know, skyrocketed for those. That used to be pretty cheap, that fragrance. This is still cheap. Readily available, grab it. It's really good for the price, especially. And I think this is like the second Mercedes-Benz fragrance that I've picked up, and I've been impressed by both of them. The other one's the Fahrenheit dupe, which is Mercedes-Benz Intense. But this one's really nice, but this one's been discontinued. It's only been discontinued recently. It's all over the shops still. You can still get it at a very reasonable price. Grab it. You will not be disappointed if you like sweet, if you like vanilla, if you like, you know, resinous, if you like dark and smoky kind of stuff. This is for you. Mercedes-Benz Club Black. Okay, so next one is number 16 on the list, and it has been discontinued as well, and I think it's a masterpiece, only because I have so many memories, good memories, attached to this scent DNA. And if you've seen my video on the fragrance of the 90s, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then catch that series. I'll put a link to it up here, and you'll be able to see that series of fragrances of the fragrances that I wore in the 90s. A lot of those have also been discontinued. Surprise, surprise. But this one was quite new, and it's been discontinued as well. This is Acqua di Gio Essenza. Acqua di Gio Essenza is pretty much a throwback to the original Acqua di Gio, only a little bit spicier and less heavy on the K-lone. And the K-lone is that that watermelon sort of note, or that sort of watery, watermelony kind of note. So I find this one to be really pleasant in the daytime, but again, prices for this one, as with all discontinued fragrances, we sort of go, oh my God, this was the best thing ever. But this was actually really good. It was I think it's a masterpiece, because it's a really good take. It's a more sort of revised and modern take of the original unreformulated or pre-reformulated Acqua di Gio, which, if you're looking for one of those, you have to get the ones from 1996 to 2004. So those 8 years, that's the first formulation. After that has been reformulated, and it's been reformulated, I think, another 2 or 3 times after that. And the current version is absolute rubbish. And I generally don't fall for that kind of shit, but I tested it. I've tested it several different shops, several different times, and it's absolute rubbish, because I know that scent really well. But I'll show you that's not really the best atomizer, but yeah, really good. A lot more spicy than the original one. Now, I'll probably use this occasionally. I think as a daytime scent, yes. But those of you who are trying to find a bottle of this, I've seen a few of these floating around, and people want ridiculous prices for them. And I don't think they're worth the ridiculous prices that people are asking for them. So go for, and I'm gonna say this, go for Periellis 360 Red. That's it. If you want that kind of scent, go for that. Go for the Periellis for the daytime. For the nighttime, you can still get Profumo, which is still really good. The Acqua di Gio Profumo, fantastic. Even though that's been reformulated as well. And I'm pretty sure that's gonna get discontinued pretty soon as well. But yeah, go for that. So next one is number 15 in the list. 15 in the list of discontinued masterpiece fragrances. Now, this one I don't really see it get talked about quite as often as I would like it to, and it is this one. It is Prada Amber Pour Homme Intense. Now, this is not the actual box. This is a tester box, because this is a tester bottle, which actually came with the lid, and I think that this is one of the coolest bottles that I own. It looks like this. It's fantastic. It's got that metal plaque with sort of the notes as well up the top, which kind of are in French, but yeah, Italian bergamot, resin of myrrh from Somalia, patchouli from Indonesia, and vanilla absolute from Madagascar. So whether or not they got those ingredients from those places, I don't know. But it's really cool, and I love this bottle shape. It's really cool, nice and thin, metal cap. And as weird as it is, you can actually hold it by the cap. Yeah, that's amazing. I really like this one. And I think I've used up maybe a quarter of it so far. It's a big 100 ml eau de parfum. And it, like I said, it doesn't get talked about very often, because it's a flanker to the original Amber Pour Homme, which is in the clear bottle with the purple juice. I think that one's a bit messed up. I don't think it's quite right. And what they did with this one is they fixed it. They had an idea of what kind of fragrance to make, and they put that idea out there in Amber Pour Homme. I'm not saying Amber Pour Homme is not nice. It's a great scent, but this is what the idea was originally, when it was probably executed better and with more intensity. Of course, it's the Pour Homme Intense, or what's it called? Amber Pour Homme Intense. So it's more intense, but it's actually a little bit different to the original. I'll spray this out here. Really good atomizer. Okay, so you get some citrus somewhere. Oh yeah, there it is. It's from the bergamot. I just read the ingredients. Yeah, so citrus. The myrrh is really strong in this one. So the myrrh and the patchouli, when they mix together, they kind of give this chocolatey kind of vibe. it's almost like a gourmand. And I don't like gourmand fragrances because I don't want to smell like food. I want to eat that stuff, but this is really nice. It gives you a hint of chocolate, but it's this aqueous sort of, if chocolate was a fruit, like a citrus fruit that you could bite into and it was watery, I think that's what this would be, because it's got vanilla as well in the base as it dries down. But this is a fantastic, I think it's a masterpiece, and it's been discontinued. It was never cheap, but you know, compared to like some ridiculously priced fragrances, it was really good value. And if you do have it, again, congratulations. If you don't, then seek it out. It's worth, I'd probably go up to like 150 Aussie a bottle of this. I wouldn't pay more than that because I don't like being ripped off, but I paid less than half of that for this. So Amber pour Homme Intense. I'm gonna block this book now. Okay, next on the list we have got, so what did I do? I did 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. And so the next one is number 14 in the list. And this one was one of my faves back in the day. And I thought it was an absolute masterpiece. And it is this one. It is Romance for Men by Ralph Lauren. Yeah, what can I say? But pistachio. Pistachio is my favorite flavor of gelati, and this had a pistachio note in it. And I'm pretty sure it was a gimmick because I could never smell actual pistachio. It may have been the pistachio peel. Now, many of you don't know that. You probably get the pistachio already, seeded out with the actual husk on, or if you've seen it, it's already been roasted. But with fresh pistachio, it comes with a red sort of skin, and sort of takes me back to being in my grandfather's farm, and he had a huge bucket of pistachios that he had purchased, and it was fresh pistachios, and they had the red skin on them, and we were peeling them, and our fingers went red, sort of like crimsony kind of color, and smelling that, it had that kind of vibe going for me. So it took me a little bit back in time to that place and to that time. And unfortunately, I'm not going to spray this because mine's turned, and there's probably one of only 2 fragrances that I have in my collection that have actually turned. I may have put it through in some place where it was too hot, or had too much light exposed to it, because again, the bottle is crystal clear, unlike the black bottles here that don't let that much light through. So the degradation of the fragrance inside the black bottles will be less than these. And I don't have the box for this. And I keep all mine in boxes as well, and I try to keep them away from temperature fluctuations. But this one, because it's been with me for such a long time, has turned, and unfortunately doesn't smell. Yeah, it just smells like I rubbed a wet dog under my armpits after a workout. So that's what this smells like right now. So unfortunately, I can't give you a description of what it should smell like, because it's not taking me anywhere there. But I've kept the bottle as a keepsake. But again, if you do find one and you are confirming that it hasn't gone off, then yeah, grab it. And I think I've seen them online for like $250 for unopened bottles. It's not worth that. But if it was half that, then you've got yourself a customer. Yeah, Ralph Lauren, Romance for Men, masterpiece, discontinued. Putting that here. And number 13, last one in this first episode of discontinued masterpiece fragrances, is this one right here. It is Havana by Aramis, and I've talked about this a couple of times already on my channel in separate videos. So I've talked about it once in fragrances that I repurchased, so that series there, you can catch that. And I've talked about it also in my fragrances that I wore in the 90s. So you can catch that as well. That's on my channel, so you can go ahead and watch those. But this one, so this is not the original bottle. I've got an original bottle as well. That got discontinued, then there was uproar, and then they got Aramis to bring it back, and then they brought it back in this gentleman collection, and they did a very good job because it's 98% or 97.53% identical to the vintage bottle. And then they went ahead and discontinued this as well. So now these are getting harder to find. Grab this. Grab this. It's probably cheap. A lot of people have it. You will not be disappointed. It's again still so unique, and I'm gonna. That's right. If tobacco was a person and it got drunk off bourbon and Sprite, then you've got something like this. Far out. That's so good. Yeah, discontinued masterpiece for sure. I'm not going to ramble on too long about this. I've already talked about this in depth in other videos. But yeah, grab this if you can. I wouldn't pay, again, I wouldn't personally, I wouldn't pay more than $70 for a bottle of this, only because throughout its sort of life, it's been super cheap to get and very affordable. Not super cheap, I should just say very affordable to get. And so that sort of price point is tied into this. If it was like one of those crazy niche kind of brands, or what people call niche, then people would maybe paying like $200, maybe $300 a bottle for this, but I can't do it for Havana. Anyway, that's the first 6 out of the 18 discontinued masterpiece fragrances. So we'll have another 2 episodes coming up. So please stay tuned and subscribe to get notifications and that I've uploaded the next video in that series. As always, thank you very much and thanks for watching.